Namaste to all book lovers. I am Manjunath Bangar. Reading a spiritual books is often less about downloading information and more about shifting your frequency. Whether it is ancient philosophy, modern mindfulness, or sacred texts, these books act as a mirror for the soul. Here is a breakdown of why people keep them on their nightstands. Mental sanctuary and stress relief in a world that thrives on outrage culture and constant notifications. Spiritual literature offers a deliberate pause. It helps lower cortisol by shifting your focus from external chaos to internal stillness. Radical perspective shifts. Spiritual books challenge the ego driven view of life. They help you reframe challenges not as a personal attacks from the universe, but as opportunities for growth. Lessons in detachment, moments of connection to something larger than yourself, emotional resilience. These texts often provide a toolkit for handling grief, anxiety, and fear. By understanding concepts like impermanence of or grace, you become less like a leaf blown by the wind and more like a tree with a deep roots. Cultivating compassion, most spiritual paths. Reading about these perspective natural substance your edges, making you more patient. Reading is a conversation. All books talk, but good spiritual book listens as well. That is the saying. Would you like me to recommend a few spiritual books? I got some collections of spiritual books. Please um, allow me to explain them. I got mostly spiritual and non-duality books written by various saints, big men like Nisarga Maharaj and like that. In these days, people now are reading less and less books because of the influence of the mobile phones. So, what mobile the content of the mobile phones does not give elaborate pleasure in while the reading a books gives a immense pleasure concentration and they and you can improve your language and other things you can pass a few sentences to again think what I heard, what is the content like that. So let me start from my first book. I am that. It's written by Sri Nisarga Maharaj. It's a non-dual personality. He was in Mumbai. The seeker is he who is in search of himself. Give up all questions except one. Who am I? After all, the only fact you are sure of is that you are. The I am is certain. The I am this is not. Struggle to find out who you are in reality. To know what you are, you must investigate and know what you are not. Discover all that you are not body, feelings, thoughts, time, space, this or that. Nothing concentrate or abstract. Which you pursue can be you. The very act of perceiving shows that you are not what you pursue. The clearer you understand that on the level of mind, you can be described in negative terms only. The quicker will you come to the end of your search and realize that you are the limitless being by It's written by Nisarga Maharaj. This now about the books. This collection of the timeless teaching of one of the greatest sages of India, Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, regarded by many as a modern spiritual classic, is a testament to the uniqueness of the seer's life and work. I am that continues to draw new audiences and to enlighten anxious seekers for self realization. Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj was a teacher who did not propound any ideology or religion but gently unwrapped the misery of the self. His message is simple, direct, and yet sublime. I am that preserves his dialogues with the followers who come from around the world seeking guidance in destroying false identities. The sage's role concern was with human suffering and the ending of the suffering. It was his mission to guide his individual to an understanding of his true nature and the timelessness of being. He thought this that mind must recognize and penetrate its own state of being, not being this or that, here or there, then or now, but just a timeless being. A simple man, Maharaj was a householder and a petty storekeeper in Mumbai where he lived and died in 1981 at the age of 84. He had not been educated formally but came to be respected and loved for his insights into the crux of the human pain and the extraordinary lucidity of his direct discourse. Hundreds of diverse seekers traveled the globe and sought him out in his unpretentious home to hear him. To all of them, he gave hope that beyond the real experience is not the mind, but the self, the light in which everything appears, the awareness in which everything happens. I am that is a legacy from a unique teacher who helps the reader to a clear understanding of himself as he comes to Maharaj again and again with his old questions. Whence am I? Who am I? And whether am I? The listeners were never turned away from the humble abode of Maharaj. Then and are not turned away now. His master was Siddheswar Maharaj from the Karnataka state, and this is the first book of his of Nisargadatta. The second book of Nisargadatta Maharaj, Prayer to Consciousness. This talks with the Nisargadatta Maharaj. It is edited by Jean Dunn. She's a woman. She asked many questions to the master, and she wrote a book, several books of Nisargadatta Maharaj. Nisargadatta Maharaj was one of the greatest sages of modern India. The talks of his collections are transcribed from tape recordings made during the question and answer periods between 1980 and 81. Maharaj passed away in November 1981 at the age of 84. The central core of Maharaj's teaching is until man can free himself from false identifications, from pretensions and delusions of various kinds, he cannot come face to face with eternal verity that is latent with his own self. What the mind invents, the mind destroys, but the real is not invented and cannot be destroyed. What a beautiful sentence. When the mind invents, the mind destroys. It's only the play of mind, but the real is not invented. It's and cannot be destroyed. The real means ourself. Jean Doon, a close follower of Maharaj, edited this and two other volumes that make up a trilogy of Maharaj talks, Seeds of Consciousness and the Absolute. The final talks of Nisargadatta Maharaj, Jean, who was with Maharaj during his last years, observes that during this time Maharaj did not entertain any questions pertaining to worldly life and its improvement and exclusively thought the highest truth. Even one sentence of his was like a Upanishad. He was very blunt and sharp in his answers, but did not cater to anyone's ego. In fact, his stated purpose was to destroy this seductive entity. To be in his presence was to feel the vibrant truth impossible to describe. He was amazing to watch. One could only gaze at him in total love and awe. Jean died in March 1996. She made an invaluable contribution in compiling the teachings of Nisarga Maharaj for posterity. In a tribute to the first collection of Maharaj's talks, I Am That, a follower wrote, this collection of recorded questions and answers is to the inner ear, a love song out of beyond, chanting the highest wisdom is a simple down to the earth language, a call divine for the earning human child in the wilderness of ignorance. To those who know how to listen, I am that proves itself a modern spiritual classic of the highest class. Prayer to consciousness continues the most revealing and illuminating dialogues which began with I am that. Uh, and it is about 150 pages, but mostly it contains questions and answers. It is very useful for the sadhakas. The third book is Consciousness and the Absolute, the final talks of Nisarga Maharaj. This is also edited with Jean Dune. Jean Dune has once again accomplished the greatest teacher of I amness on his journey through the material world and recorded his precious final teachings. Maharaj's last meetings with world pilgrims, as faithfully transcribed by her, join the procession of published works which began with I am that and were embelled over the years by Dune's Seeds of Consciousness and Prayer to Consciousness. This compilation of final session between supplicants and the seer bears the sentient marks of Jean Dune's long apostleship, her own deep understanding of his personality and message is evident in her transcription. It was of utmost importance to capture the pure distillation of his vision in those lost, pain filled days. She was equal to the task. He was suffering from, Nisargadatta was suffering in the old days due to some cancer, I think. The pain was unbearable, but still he gave answers to all who came to him. In Conscious and the Absolute, Sri Nisarga speaks to us and tomorrow. A book is purchased from the Vedic books, Chaitanya bookstall, and it is the photo for Jean Dunn. And another book is Seeds of Consciousness. It's from the wisdom of Sri Nisarga Maharaj. It's also a very beautiful book, edited by Jean Dune. The wisdom contained in this collection, edited by Jean Dune, emerged from dialogues with those who came from all over the world to learn the mysteries of life at the feet of Nisargadatta Maharaj, one of the most revered holy men of India. The residence of this renowned spiritual guide was a tiny room in a crowded and noisy street in Mumbai. Maurice Friedman, who immortalized Maharaj's teachings in the first collection of the dialogues, I Am That, in 1973, vividly describes the man and his surroundings. In the humble abode of Nisargadatta Maharaj, but for the electric lights and the noises of the street traffic, one would not know in which period of human history one dwells. There is a atmosphere of timelessness about this tiny room. The subjects discussed are timeless, valid for all times. The way they are expounded, examined is also timeless. One deals with the matters immensely ancient and eternally new. Whence came I? What am I? Whither go I? Such questions have no beginning and will never end. And it's crucial to know the answers. For without the full understanding of oneself, both in time and the timelessness, life is but a dream imposed upon us by powers we do not know, for purpose we cannot grasp. He says, life is a dream. It is like a dream. When we sleep, we get a dream, but when we awake, the dream is gone. Everything is gone. So, like this life is also a long dream. It's also the same principle is Upanishad is said in the Upanishads, all Upanishads. Maharaj admonition to be and to know what one is in the sense of timeless being emerges from these dialogues and will touch the lives of many for a long time to come. The conversation recorded by Jean Doon, an ardent follower of Maharaj, in Seeds of Consciousness and the companion volume Prayer to Consciousness, make an invaluable contribution to the body of spiritual testament. These conversations continue to provide insights for modern man in his spiritual journeys, leading out of suffering and sorrow. Is published by Chaitanya Bookstall. It's also question and answers by Maharaj, and he was always surrounded by a one. Maharaj was not knowing fluent English, but there was a translators who what when Maharaj spoke in Marathi language, the translators used to tell in English to the foreigners who came to him, and that was a blessing for the visitors. And now there is another book called The Experience of Nothingness by Nisarga Maharaj, edited by this one, Robert Paul. Another one, Nisar, some thoughts uh, of this. Nisarga, like in all great Jesus of old India, elucidates the nature of the ultimate reality clearly and simply. He makes the highest self-realizations a matter of common understanding so that any sincere seeker can grasp the essence of it. This is author David Frawley, author of the Beyond the Mind and Ayurvedic Healing. He has written it. And another man comments Sri Nisarga Maharaj will be increasingly recognized as a whole admirable star in the spiritual firmament of our age. Peter O. V. Medal, MD, and another one, Dr. Vaini, also comments Nisargadatta Maharaj is my greatest teacher. His words guide my rating, speaking, and all of my relationship. The singular pursuit of the awakened person is to find the part of himself or herself that cannot be destroyed by death. I know of no one who can aid you more on that journey than Nisargadatta Maharaj. His wisdom guided me through the writings of your sacred self. Let him be with you as he always with me via this profound book, The Nectar of Immortality. Author of the easy, author of your erroneous Jones and your sacred self. And another Indian writer, Deepak Chopra, writes uh, Dr. Powell is one of the world's most inspired writers on the Advaita philosophy. You'll find great gems in his book. Deepak Chopra, author of The Path of Love and the Seven Spirits Law of Success. This is published by Motilal Banarasi Das Publishers Private Limited. And another book from the Nisargadatta Beyond Freedom. When you discover that self which has no color, image, or design, you will no longer require freedom or to be conditioned by freedom. You will be beyond freedom. The moment of the I amness explodes or appears, all of space is lit up. The entire sky is the expression of your beingness. Even though this world is an expression of your beingness, you believe that you are only the body. Your love for the body limits your origins. But the moment those walls come down, you are one with the Brahmin and the whole universe. And in this book also, you can see a list of other books also, spiritual books. Very, very, very good. These are all the list of books available at the uh, publishers. This is all about the Nisarga the Maharaj. One last thing I would like to tell. When he was an illiterate person, he was, I mean, illiterate means he studied only up to 3 or 4 standard, up to 4 years. But when he met his guru, the Siddheswara Swami, he only received, you are not, you are not the body, you are that, you work on it. He only said that things. And Nisarga Manas, even though he had maintained a bidi shop at Mumbai busiest street, he, for 24 hours he realized that he is not a body, and he used to do meditation and the words to remember the words of his guru. When he realized himself, he went to the Himalayas to do the ultimate realizations. But as he reached the Himalayas, some voice came to him that he was not destined to do tapas or any meditation at the Himalayas. He should come to the Mumbai and seek the answer and seek the and tell these principles that I am not that to the all the disciples who comes from the abroad. So he came back. Again he came back and he started giving discourse to the all his sadhakas. But unfortunately he had cancers. But still, without the pain at the body, he gave a clear vision of the Indian philosophy, non-duality. Okay, next time in the next video we shall meet again. Namaskaram.